Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can't lose, we always win, you're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can't lose, we always win, you're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can't lose, we always win, you're our champion. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. As we come to celebrate and to give Abba Yah Torah for yet another great rising, as we have gathered together in this place to make our requests and petitions known unto Abba Yah. We're going to begin with the Baruch of the Torah. Repeat with me, Baruch Yahuwah.
Baruch Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
For all eternity.
For all eternity.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah, our supreme one.
You are supreme one.
King of the universe.
Of the universe.
Who selected us from all the peoples.
Who selected us from all the peoples.
And gave us his Torah.
And gave us his Torah.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
And implanted eternal life within us.
And implanted eternal life.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Now we will read, excuse me, the Ten Commandments coming from the book of Devarim, chapter 5, verses 6 through 22. Aleph, I am Yahuwah, your power, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim from the bed of slavery. Bet, you shall have no other power before me. You shall not make any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in Shemayim above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in Mayim beneath the earth. You shall not bow down yourselves unto them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, your power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the Abbas upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that ahaba me and keep my commandments. Excuse me. Gimel, you shall not take the name of Yahuwah your power and falsify it, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that takes his name and empties it. Dalet, guard the Sabbath day to set it apart as Yahuwah your power has commanded you. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah your power. In it you shall do no work, you nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your ass, nor any of your cattle, nor your foreigner that is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as you. And you shall remember you were a servant in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahuwah your power brought you out of there through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore Yahuwah your power commanded you to keep the Sabbath day.
And it is so.
He, esteem your Abba and your Ema as Yahuwah your power has commanded you, that your days may be prolonged and that it may go well with you in the land which Yahuwah swore unto your Abbas to give you. Wab, you shall not murder. Zayin, neither shall you commit adultery. Het, neither shall you steal. Tet, neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor. Yud, neither shall you desire your neighbor's wife, neither shall you covet your neighbor's bed, his field or his manservant or his maidservant, his ox or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words Yahuwah spoke unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tablets of stone and delivered them unto me. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Luke 18:1, men ought to always pray and not faint. Yahusha chapter 1, verse 7 and 8. And it is so.
And it is so.
We're going to read verse 7 and then we're going to recite verse 8. Only be you strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to the Torah, which Moshe, my servant, commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. Verse 8, as I've tailored to fit a time of confession, repeat with me. I will not let this scroll of the Torah,
I will not let the scroll of the Torah
depart out of my mouth,
depart out of my mouth,
but I shall meditate on it,
but I shall meditate on it
day and night,
day and night,
that I may observe to do
that I may observe to do
according to all that is written in it.
according to all that is written in it.
For then I shall make my way prosperous,
And then I shall make my way prosperous,
and act wisely,
and act wisely,
and act wisely.
and act wisely.
Now look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, and you shall act wisely, and you shall act wisely. Now take your hand and place it over your heart and say, Abba Yah,
I'll be out.
I shall act wisely.
I shall act
Come on,
wisely.
I shall act wisely.
I shall act wisely.
I endeavor
I endeavor
to act wisely.
to act wisely.
I endeavor
I endeavor
to act wisely.
to act wisely.
I endeavor
I endeavor
to act wisely.
to act wisely.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. It's important that we act wisely. The Bre Hayayamim Bet, which is Corinthians chapter 7, verse 14. 2 Corinthians. Great rising. And it is so. Verse 14 says, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from Shemayim and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Now my eyes shall be open and my ears attentive to the prayer that is made in this place. For now have I chosen and set apart this house, that my name may be there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall always be there. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. It's important that we understand that we observe and keep the commandments and walk in his judgments as he has given them unto us. And it is so.
And it is so.
Devarim chapter 6, verses 1 through 14. Chapter 6, verses 1 through 18. We're going to stick it to the 18th verse. And it says, chapter 6, verses 1 through 18, the book of Devarim. These are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah your power commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you are going to enter and possess it, that you might fear Yahuwah your power and to keep all his statutes, his commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your grandson, all the days of your life, that your days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Yisrael, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahuwah power of your Abbas has promised you in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our Supreme One is a God. Shemat Yisrael, Yahuwah is our Savior. Yahuwah is a God. And you shall ahaba Yahuwah your Supreme One with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your bed, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes, to fall, to bind to the mind. And you shall write them upon the posts of your bed, and upon your gates. And it shall be, when Yahuwah your power shall have brought you into the land which he swore to your Abbas, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Yaakov, to give you great cities which you did not build, and houses full of all great things which you filled not, and wells dug which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant. When you shall have eaten and be full, then beware lest you forget Yahuwah, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the bed of slavery. You shall fear Yahuwah your power and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after the power of the people which are round about you. For Yahuwah your power is a jealous power among you, lest the anger of Yahuwah your power be kindled against you, and he destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not tempt Yahuwah your power as you tempted him in Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahuwah your power, and his statutes, and his testimonies, and his statutes which he has commanded you. And you shall do that which is right and great in the sight of Yahuwah, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the great land which Yahuwah swore unto your Abbas, and it is so.
And it is so.
Tehillim chapter 63, verses 1 through 11. Our foundational verse for this great rising time of prayer. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it reads, chapter 63, verses 1 through 11. O power, you are my power. Early will I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where no mayim is. To see your power and your beauty, so as I have seen you in the sanctuary. Because your compassion and kindness is better than life, my lips shall praise you. Thus will I baruch you while I live. I will lift up my hands in your name. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness, and my mouth shall praise you with joyful lips, when I remember you upon my bed. And meditate on you in the night watches. Because you have been my help, therefore in the shadow of your wings will I rejoice. My soul pursues you. Your right hand upholds me. But those that seek my soul to destroy shall go into the lower parts of the earth. They shall fall by the sword, and they shall be eaten by the jackals. But the king shall rejoice in power. Everyone that swears by him shall see beauty. But the mouth of them that speaks lies shall be stopped. And it is so. And it is so. As we come together at this time, you may kneel, you may prostrate before him, you may stand, you may lift your hands before him as we go before the Abba, this great rising. Abba Yah, in the mighty name of your Son, our Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, As we come before you this great rise, and we come first and foremost asking you to forgive us of any and all sin, blot out our transgressions, that there be nothing between us and thee. We ask, Abba Yah, for your strength this great rise, and we ask for your instructions, your guidance. We ask for ears to hear, eyes to see, and a heart to perceive everything that you have given unto us that pertains to uprightness and that causes us to walk in your truth. Help us to develop and grow in the manner that you have placed before us in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Help us not to abort the mission. Help us not to give way and give in to sin or give in to those things that are not kosher, to those things that will not help us to develop and grow. But help us to be sensitive to the Ruach HaKodesh and sensitive to the Torah, your instructions for our lives. As we continue to present ourselves unto you daily, we present ourselves unto you this great rising as a unit, as a mishpachah. We present ourselves unto you as a sacrifice, as an offering. We ask that this day, Abba Yah, that you receive our oblations, receive our offerings unto you. As this time we offer up even a time of fasting, a time where we break this body, where we break it through the means of fasting, where we deny ourselves food and water, that we may truly get to your heart. I ask, Abba Yah, for your instructions and your guidance for us, your people, that we will not falter, fumble, or stumble, but that we continue to keep the bloodstained banner lifted high and flying, and that we would also be a light that shines in places of obscurity, that our light will so shine that men would see your good works and give you esteem. And we Torah you for that what you're doing. Help us to be an example to believers and unbelievers alike. Help us to have a voice that we may win the prostituting sheep, our mishpachah, back unto you. I ask, Abba Yah, in this time and in this season, as we're going through the seasons, that you would help us to maintain our commitment and our consistency, and not let us be overtaken by what our eyes may perceive and what our hearts may see, but help us to truly stay committed and grounded. For you said in the season of Abib, we ought to celebrate. We ought to celebrate Peshat. And now, Abba Yah, as we stand before you this great day, and as we come before you, these days recently have been like it has been a time of spring. But help us, Abba Yah, to be able to discern between what is right and what is your dealing and what is man-made. Help us, Abba Yah, not to stumble at those things that we see and hear, even the very things that we looked at and we thought were truly truth. But now we're finding out it is not. Help us, Abba Yah, not to give up and give in, but to hold on and continue to fight the good fight of belief. I pray this great rising for the strength of your people, from the crown of our heads to the very sole of our feet. Help us not to give in. Help us not to give weight to sin and to its cry and to its desire to occupy in our lives. But give us, Abba Yah, this day our daily bread as we continue to seek you and as we continue to come hard after you. For we're chasing after you no matter what we have to do, because we long for you, Abba Yah, in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach. As we stand before you this great rising, I pray for those that are in unsafe conditions, for those that are in Biafra, for Dimona, for Dubai, for those places, Abba Yah, for even in South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Abba Yah, for places, Milwaukee, Baltimore, Maryland, and to Washington, D.C. I pray, Abba Yah, for those in Louisiana and those that are in New Orleans, for those, Abba Yah, that are in Atlanta, for those that are in Mississippi, Abba Yah, for those that are in Mexico, for those that are in Fiji, Abba Yah. I pray for those that are in Pakistan, that your will be done, Abba Yah, and that you will secure your people and keep your people in these trying times as we're constantly faced and bombarded with all type of situations, whether if it's not with our mishpachah, then it's outside with jobs. If it's not with the job, then it's with the mishpachah, and if it's not with them, then it's with total strangers. But I ask you, Abba Yah, that you would keep us as you continue to cause us to be hungry and thirsty. As Dawood said, my soul follows, pursues you. Your right hand upholds me. But those that seek my soul to destroy shall go into the lower parts of the earth. I tell you, Abba Yah, that everyone that rises against and rise up against your people that are standing in truth, that will come out their mouths and lie and come out their mouths in a manner that is truly trying to be to discredit us as being your people. I told you, Abba Yah, that you will deal with them. And while you're dealing with them, them. Give us the strength and the stamina and the means whereby we can go and reach our prostituting mishpachah. I told you, Abba Yah, this great rising for that what you're doing, that what you've done, and that what you're yet going to do. I pray for those that are in relationships, Abba Yah, for the mishpachah, for the Ima and the Papa, for the siblings. I pray, Abba Yah, that you would bring shalom in the midst, and that you would bring forth restoration and resolution to the very situations and problems that continue to arise in the midst of the mishpachah. I told you, Abba Yah, for your will being done. I even told you, Abba Yah, for keeping us focused. Somebody say, keep me focused. Helping us stay focused, Abba Yah, so that we can truly move forward in the things that you have birthed through us and the things that you have put down on the inside of us. Help us not to lose focus. Help us not to engage in those things that you didn't give us authority to engage in. But help us to maintain our course of consistency. I told you this day, Abba Yah, for businesses, for increasing our businesses and causing our businesses to flourish. As many desire to be entrepreneurs and many desire to have their own, to have their own set times for work and for their time off. I pray, Abba Yah, that you will baruch your people with ideas, innovative ideas, so that we'll be able to invest back into our mishpachah, that we'll be able to invest back into our community. I pray, Abba Yah, that you would just open up our hearts and minds and cause us to give birth to those things, that we're able to use that which you've given unto us to be able to create wealth and to be able to do what we need to do as well as desire to do. I pray this great rising, Abba Yah, for those that have already had business, but it's like they're in a dry spell, that you will break that dry spell and cause your people to be in a moist and dry land, that they'll be able to create those businesses that are help and that will help the mishpachah, that will help the individual. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing, that what you've done, and that what you're yet going to do. For those that are standing in need for a place to stay, I told you, Abba Yah, for opening doors for your people that no man can close and closing doors that no man can open. I pray, Abba Yah, for your people this great rising, those that are making preparations to go to work. Keep them safe on the highways and byways. I rebuke incidents and accidents, that there are no incidents on the highway and definitely no accidents. But your people have straight access to that place of employment. I pray that shalom will cover them and be their real reward as well as lead and guide them and show them the right places to follow and the places to navigate and the places they ought not be. Give them strength, Abba Yah, to turn away from those very things. I told you, Abba Yah, for what you're doing, what you've done, and what you're yet going to do. Breathe on us, immerse us afresh, Abba Yah, as we remain focused to you. I pray this day, as you have given it unto us, a day of fasting, a day of study, that we will study to show ourselves approved unto you, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word, the Torah of truth. I told you, Abba Yah, for entrusting us with such a precious gift, and that is the instructions, Abba Yah, that you've given unto us, instructions that you didn't give to everybody else, but you gave unto us the chosen. Now, Abba Yah, give us the strength to walk in it and walk through it, no matter what we face and no matter who we face. Even if family walks away from us, help us, Abba Yah, to remain committed. Even if they call us crazy and call us self-righteous and call us all manner of things. I told you, Abba Yah, that we are not that, but we are walking in your truth. Continue to give us the strength and give us the stamina to walk in that you have given unto us and placed on the inside of us. I told you, Abba Yah, for you three, for this thing going global, into not just national, but beyond national to global, to where we will meet people and minister to people all around the world. I told you, Abba Yah, for they will become a household name and in demand, not because we're trying to make money, but because we want to spread the Besorah. We want to spread that which you've given unto us as a people. Cause us to be creative in the things that you have put in our hands. I told you, Abba Yah, for transportation. I told you, Abba Yah, for just what I desire and need, you're going to let me find it so that I'll be able to do what I desire to do, and that is to help in the area, Abba Yah, of getting the things that we need. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing, that what you've done, and that what you're yet going to do. I pray for those that are making preparations to go to school this great rising, that they will find themselves at school on time, and that they will have a great day, a day of learning, a day that they will be able to expand their knowledge. I told you, Abba Yah, that they will retain it. In the mighty name of Yahushua Mashiach, I pray for those that are suffering with sicknesses in their bodies, with lupus, with high blood pressure, low blood pressure, obesity, anorexia. I pray this great rising for your people, Abba Yah, that we will lay aside every weight and every sin that will so easily beset us and run this race as you have given it unto us. Relinquish ourselves of the authority that we once had in our own lives and give you that authority so that we will be able to truly live as the children of power. I pray this great rising for those that are suffering with lupus in their bodies, with AIDS, suffering, Lord, Abba Yah, with those things that are down on the inside. I pray, Abba Yah, for your healing and for your guidance. I Torah you, Abba Yah, for those that are struggling with even outward rashes and they're ashamed to show them because they don't want to be ridiculed. But I pray this great rising as we turn our plates down, Abba Yah, and we turn our faces and our hearts towards you, that you would hear our cry this great rising, that you would hear even the very moan down on the inside of our souls, that we need you and we want you and we desire to have you in our lives, that you would begin to meet the needs and the desires of your people, Abba Yah. We truly do desire you more than anything else in this world. I told you, Abba Yah, for balance. I told you for balance, for that which you're bringing into our lives. I told you, Abba Yah, for opening doors and expanding us as a mishpachah, so that others will come and they will realize that this is the way of life, the only way. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing. I told you, Abba Yah, for opening those of us that write poetry and write short stories, that you would open doors for us, that we could get our string hearts or the things that come from our heart, that we're able to put them on paper and others are able to read them and enjoy what we write. I told you, Abba Yah, for opening up that floodgate and giving us the ability to write bars and to write lyrics and just to be able to write. Open it up that we're able to write and not just write those things, but write about the Torah, experience in the Torah. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing, that what you've done, and that what you're yet going to do. Unifying us as a unit, as a Kod, Abba Yah, and Ox and a Codes, that we will truly come together and put away the fighting and put away the bickering and all the unnecessary wasting of air and time, just debating and feuding over things that truly, if we will look in the writings, we will see your way and your will. I told you, Abba Yah, for putting us on the same page and for causing us to know your ways and to know your voice like never before. I pray this great rising, Abba Yah, for your men and for your women that desire companionship, that you will cause them to find those that are men, that they would find an Isha, and that she would be all that and so much more to them. When you say, he that finds an Isha obtains the esteem of Abba Yah. I told you, Abba Yah, in that time, let these find the issue and let them be in a position sound and full of the Ruach Kodesh of your wisdom and knowledge, that when they are found, Abba Yah, that this was what you have put together and not man has put together. I told you, Abba Yah, for those that are transitioning out of bad relationships, that they won't let it mar them and it won't let them scar them, but they will continue to move on, believing you, Abba Yah, that you're able to do all things but fail. Truly, you are the author and finisher of our belief, and we won't let you go. We won't let you go. We won't let go of your will. We won't let go of the Torah. I told you, Abba Yah, for what you're going to say to us on this night. Abba Yah, your will be done as we gather together in our high heights and deeper depths toward a story, that you will speak your word unto the ears and the hearts of us, your people, that we would develop and grow so that we can truly be the example of what it means to be the children of power. I told you, Abba Yah, for baruching the businesses of your people this great day, and even the very lives of the people, Abba Yah, that are walking in this way of life, this truth, without tampering with it, without contaminating it, but walking in it in its rawest form. I told you, Abba Yah, for what you're doing. I told you, Abba Yah, for conviction, that if we've done anything wrong and that if we've hurt or offended anyone, help us, Abba Yah, to get it right and to move on. I told you, Abba Yah, for expansion. I told you for that what you're doing. Expand us. enlarge our borders, enlarge our territory. As we continue to seek your face, as we continue to ahaba you, Abba Yah. I told you for those that you continue to bring into our lives. I told you, Abba Yah, for those things that you're doing unto us and doing for us in this hour and in this season. I told you, Abba Yah, for these things. Keep Antoine, keep him, Abba Yah, as he goes to work. Keep him safe without hurt, harm, and danger. I told you for his business and that it will increase and that he will begin to truly see the fruit of his labor and that he won't get weary and well doing but continue to invest and you bring the yield unto him, the harvest that he so desires. In the mighty name of Yahushua, Mashiach, I pray for those that are here this great rising, for you three and for MYK. I told you, Abba Yah, for increase and for strength and stamina. I continue to offer up, Abba Yah, praise and esteem unto you, the author and finisher of our belief. I told you, Abba Yah, for all of those that have become a part of Team MYK and for those that have become a part of the Ifrim community as we continue to meet and continue to develop and ahaba one another, that you will cause us to flourish in these very things. And I told you, Abba Yah, for strength, in the mighty name of Yahushua, for those that are keeping their loved ones, for those that are keeping those that they ahaba, and taking care of them, their family, their mishpachah, as they take them on a day-to-day basis because they don't want to put them in nursing homes and they don't want to put them in places that they cannot watch them in the proper manner. I told you, Abba Yah, for the strength and for the finances that they need, but I told you, Abba Yah, for miracles. For miracles, Abba Yah, for miracles, for those that may be suffering with Alzheimer's, that you can reverse the decision, Abba Yah. For those that are suffering on the inside, that you would turn this thing around and they would no longer suffer with those diseases, but you would make them complete and whole in you and in you alone. I told you, Abba Yah, for what you're doing, what you've done, and what you're yet going to do. In the mighty name of Yahushua Mashiach. And it is so. And it is so. Let's have our song, please.
We have come this far by belief, leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Torah. He's never failed me yet. Oh, can't turn around. We've come this far by belief. We have come this far by belief. Leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Torah. He's never failed me yet. Oh, can't turn around. We've come this far by belief. We have come this far by belief. Leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Torah. He's never failed me yet. Oh, can't turn around. We've come this far by belief. We have come this far by belief. Leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Torah. He's never failed me yet. Oh, can't turn around. We've come this far by belief. come this far by belief.
Come on, Baruch him, Baruch him. We've come this far by belief, leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Kaddish, his Torah. And he's never failed us yet, and he will never fail us. It's important that we understand why we do what we do and why we take the time and sacrifice the time. Because understand only what we do for Yahusha shall last. So it's important that we understand all other investments are going to come to an end and it's going to fade away. But our sacrifice and that we give unto our Yah through our time of sacrifice, prayer, fasting, and praise, we will grow and we will develop because we are building and we are investing towards our future. It is important, once again, Luke 18:1 says, men ought to always pray and not faint. We ought to mature and put away the fainting spells and put away those times of disbelief. Why? Because our relationship with him ought to grow and grow and grow in our time of prayer. Mishlei 15:8, the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination, hateful, and exceedingly offensive unto you, Abba Yah, but the pride is your delight. Mishlei 3:4, so shall you find great understanding and high esteem in the sight or judgment of Yahuwah and man, and it is so.
And it is so.
Tehillim 1:1, Baruch is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the unrighteous, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth at the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the instructions of Abba Yah, and he doth meditate on it. Ibram 11:6, but without belief it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to Yahuwah must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And it is so.
And it is so.
Yehukin Aleph, chapter 5, verse 4 and 5. But whatsoever is born of Yahuwah overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our belief. Who is he that overcometh the world, but he that believeth that Yahusha is the Son of Yahuwah? Yehukin Aleph, chapter 2, verses 5 and 6. But whosoever keeps his word, the Torah, truly the Ahava of Yahuwah is perfected in him. By this we know that we are in him. He who says he abides in him ought himself also to walk just as he walked, and it is so.
And it is so.
And the world passes away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahuwah abideth forever. Somebody say abideth forever.
Abideth forever.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Moshiach Yehukanan, which is Mark 11:24, says, therefore I say unto you, what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. It is a guarantee. And so we are not just up calling out words, but we are anticipating and expecting a great move of Abba Yah every day, that he allows us to rise up in our right minds and in not a portion of our strength, but in all of our strength, as he continues to lead and guide us. As we've come to this portion, we're going to read the book of Devarim, chapter 11, verses 13 through 22, and then we're going to have our confession. And it shall come to pass, if you listen carefully to my commandments, which I command you this day, to Ahava Yahuwah your power, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give you the rain of your land in its due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your corn and your wine and your oil. And I will send grass in your fields for your cattle, that you may eat and be full. Take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived, and you turn aside and serve other power and worship them. And then Yahuwah's wrath be ignited against you. And he shut up Shemaiah, that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, unless you perish quickly from off the great land which Yahuwah gives you. Therefore you lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes, to fall to bind to the mind. And you shall teach them your children, speaking of them when you sit in your bed, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your bed, and upon your gates, that your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children in the land which Yahuwah swore to your fathers, to give them as the days of Shemaim upon the earth. And if you shall carefully keep all these commandments which I command you, to do them, to Ahava Yahuwah your power, to walk in all his halakha, and to cling unto him. And it is so.
And it is so.
In order to cling unto him, we have to Ahava him. And if we Ahava him, we're going to cling to him. And guess what? He's going to cling back. And so it's important that we understand what the purpose of clinging is, because you're not going to say you'll harbor him and then not want to be up under him and have him in you and so forth. And so it's important that we build that relationship through our time of study and through our time of worship and through a time of prayer. And it is so. As we've come to this portion of our time of prayer, let us bow before our King that we may seal it and say the last confession. And it is so. Repeat with me. May the utterance of my mouth, and the deliberation of my heart be desirable for you, O Yahuwah, my rock, and my redeemer. May the utterance of my mouth, and the deliberation of my heart be desirable before you, O Yahuwah, my rock, and my redeemer. And it is so. We are decided to Hillel 19 and 15, and it is so. Once again, I want to say to you, may Abba Baruch your young as you continue to go forward throughout this day. I pray He keeps you safe, and that you will continue to keep your heart and your mind stayed upon Him, and that you will continue to meditate upon it as Yahusha chapter 1 verse 8, the Son of Nun, has given unto us by way of instructions. Once again, I want you to remember, I am prophetess Sabrina Brown, also Nora 777, and I am the leader of Messengers of Yahuwah's Kingdom of Bread Belief Ministries, located in South Carolina. I want you to remember, here at Messengers of Yahuwah's Kingdom of Bread Belief Ministries, this is the place where
the Torah does the body excellent.
Until next time, may Abba Baruch and keep you in His shalom until we meet again. Also, I want you to remember that you've been touched by Champion TV, a place where the champions reside, and it is so.
And it is so.